It's been 3 years since the last time we've seen Mario and his friends in a sports game. Developer Camelot is back, continuing their history of developing Nintendo's Mario-centric sports games, with the last release being Mario Tennis Aces in 2018. Like Aces before it, Mario Golf Super Rush feels like it focuses on making the series much more accessible, with quality of life improvements focusing on improving the core golf gameplay, with a handful of new game modes that make Super Rush a stellar return to the golf course, although perhaps missing the nostalgic memories some were hoping for. But before we jump into this review, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to stay up to date for whenever I put up another video. You can also join my Discord server for free with the link in the description. With all that said, let's jump into this review, starting with its story. Mario Golf Super Rush returns to the classic series formula of having a story mode that goes beyond the Mushroom Kingdom suddenly being interested in golf. Play as your Mii, who joins a golf training course at Bonnie Greens. Eager to go from beginner to pro, you make your way through a handful of courses challenging fellow Mushroom Kingdom citizens. It's not just a simple golf tournament story though, as Wario and Waluigi are up to no good, playing a handful of tricks on you and your friends as they seek out their own objectives. While not a narrative masterpiece, Mario Golf Super Rush does offer some personality and charm with its characters, but probably not as far as you'd wish. The 4 to 5 hour adventure mode goes from golf RPG to simple tutorial with repetitive bosses rather quickly. Although its narrative is filled with lovable characters, I didn't feel like they had the chance to fully shine and explore their quirks and characteristics. There are some highlight moments in the writing, like having Monty Mole explain how they know this course inside and out, easily made me laugh the first time I read it, and that's just one example of self-aware charm that this game exudes, but only on occasion. While there are some moments of charm, the overall story mode feels like a catfish of sorts. There's a solid introduction here that feels like it leads to what's going to be an evolution of the RPG story mode fans of the series have long sought after, only to be downplayed with a simpler version of it. What immediately stood out to me with Mario Golf Super Rush is the fact that it's a new Nintendo sports game that doesn't skip out on the story mode or adventure mode. Well, it's been quite a bit since we've had an actual story mode that isn't just an arcade mode labeled as a story mode. While it's a bit simple, I'm happy to say that Mario Golf Super Rush finally brings a solid console golf story mode, though it feels more like a tutorial mode that lets you get a feel for the various game modes in a welcoming environment. Oddly enough, there are some abilities and features introduced in this game mode that just don't appear ever again outside of the story mode. As a pseudo-tutorial mode, it felt oddly included. While you're not technically forced to play the story mode, I do think it makes for a good introduction to both the old and new game modes in Super Rush. It also so happens to be the only way to unlock every golf course for the other game modes. If you have any interest in playing as your Mii, you'll also want to tackle the story mode, however that also means upgrading your Mii's RPG stats. Shockingly, this makes the roster feel widely imbalanced, as your Mii can suddenly end up with some broken stats that just don't get rebalanced against other players online. Suddenly, a Mii playing online who has beaten the story mode against another person who hasn't will just be unbalanced. Nevertheless, I am happy to see a story mode finally make a return, though there's no doubt that it is flawed. Outside of the campaign mode, Super Rush offers a variety of gameplay types to enjoy. For all the various game modes, you can choose to play from 16 characters across 6 golf courses you progressively unlock, not including your Miis that can also be added to the game's roster. While a lot of familiar faces are here like Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy, some completely new faces bring some well-welcome nostalgia like Paulina, who you might remember from Donkey Kong or Super Mario Odyssey, and King Bob-omb from Super Mario 64. Each of these characters have a special shot that most likely will feel familiar to anyone that's played a Mario sports game before. The developers take into account the theme of each character and incorporate it into their shot. Yoshi, for example, incorporates eggs in pretty much all of his special moves, similar to how he was able to turn the baseball into an egg in Mario Superstar Baseball. While the concept is similar, the game is different. Perhaps the biggest new addition to the series is the game mode hinted in the subtitle, Speed Golf. This twist in the series formula feels like a combination of Mario Kart meets golf. Take on your friends across 18 holes where you race between each swing to be the first to land your ball in a hole. After every swing, rather than jumping into a golf court to the next destination, you physically have to run across the course in a rush to your next swing. Of course, it's not a simple race. Power-ups, special swings, and rushes make the race a chaotic but hilariously good time. Power-ups are placed perfectly to make sure you never have a moment of peace, as something always throws a wrench into the competition. Holding down the B button lets you sprint for as long as your stamina meter allows. One great mechanic is that each swing costs you about 30 seconds of time, so while the name of the game is speed, you're also rewarded for taking your time at making a more accurate shot. There's a solid balance of risk and reward that fuels this game mode as a fantastic party mode as much as it is a competitive mode. In addition to the speed golf mode is the battle golf mode. While I didn't enjoy it as much as speed golf, I thought Nintendo's arena themed golf mode was still enjoyable. You, along with 3 other competitors, race to sink 3 holes in the arena with up to 9 holes. The thing is, with every hole filled, they disappear, making it a race to gather your points before someone beats you to the punch. It's a game mode that's sole fun factor weighs on the chaos in the arena, but it also caters to those that avoid trouble altogether. It's a bit of a contradiction. Matches end rather quickly too, so just when it starts to get fun, the match ends. It's certainly not a bad game mode, just one that can be better fleshed out. The core simplified golf modes are here as well, and they follow the if it ain't broke don't fix it formula quite well. If you just want to relax and play some rounds of golf as a Mario character, then here's your game mode. Swapping between either playing with button controls or motion controls, you play across 6 different fields that more than deliver a balance between casual play and the bizarre chaotic Mario themed courses. Despite loving these courses though, I wish we had more, or at least had a lot more to do with them. I greatly appreciated being able to play online with just about every game mode, including both friends and random players, but with a series like Mario Golf, I think a lot more could have been done online. A tournament mode or a themed online playlist mode like something from Tetris Effect would have been great to see here as an incentive to keep playing beyond your fun with the story mode and speed golf. Ultimately, this entry is still what Mario Golf is at heart. Just golf. That means hitting the golf ball into a hole in as little swings as you can. The obstacles are what changes and helps keep Super Rush feeling fresh and fun. Part of that is for sure the new speed golf mode that feels like a combination of Mario Golf and Mario Kart. Battle Golf feels like a better idea in concept than execution, but I think can easily become a fan favorite with some updates in the future. The story mode is simple, but yes, is technically a story mode, which I'm happy to see, but no doubt could have benefited from fully leaning into its writing and RPG mechanics. It's been such a long time since the last time we've had a Mario Golf game on consoles, and finally seeing Mario and his friends on the golf course in HD looks extraordinary. When it comes to visuals and art design, I loved what Camelot did with Super Rush. Playing through the golf adventure mode, I love seeing the Mushroom Kingdom presented as this lived-in world. Exploring as my me, I got to see a handful of different Mario characters in their own unique environments. In regards to performance, when playing in dock mode, the resolution looks like it's coming in at around 1080p dynamic resolution at 60 frames per second. The amount of action happening on screen certainly looks like it's having a toll on the resolution, as there's a lot of jaggies, but oddly enough, I didn't mind it as much because of the amount of detail in the world. If the world felt empty and was low resolution, that would be another story. But especially in golf mode, wandering through the hub world, speaking to all the NPCs and just marveling at the environment, I found myself enjoying the atmosphere. That became more apparent when in actual games where the characters were running across the course, performing gigantic leaps of action as they race to the hole. In handheld mode, the resolution is dropped down to what looks like a dynamic 720p, also targeting 60 frames per second and also locked. While the resolution does drop to an even fuzzier point, the smaller screen size and distance from the face typically hit some of the jaggier gameplay. Mario Golf Super Rush features a nice variety of music that, shockingly to me at least, weren't all remixed tracks of classic Mario songs. Camelot took it upon themselves to create a pretty much original soundtrack for this game. The end result is a wide variation of songs that help capture the different courses and character victory poses. The narrator for different shots was soothing and somewhat reminiscent of the voice I remembered in Wii Sports. As far as sound effects go, I thought they were pretty good. Hearing all the classic Mario characters make their traditional voice clips that I pretty much have memorized at this point from the GameCube era of Mario sports games were great. However, it's the UI sound effects that stood out to me the most, like the tiny details in the menus and the shot effects that pulled in some various sounds from other Mario games. I loved it, but I'm also a sucker for anything Mario 64 sound related. Mario Golf Super Rush is a welcome return to form for the Mario Golf series, and the Mario sports genre as a whole. Having an RPG story mode is a nice return, but I wish the developer dove deeper into it rather than just at a surface level. The new Speed Golf mode makes for a fun party mode that tickles that new Mario Kart itch I've been feeling for quite a few years now. While it may not be the sharpest looking Switch game, it more than makes up for it with a beautiful saturated world that's filled with personality and beauty. Hopefully we see some more content releases for this in the future, because with some DLC courses and a well fleshed out online multiplayer, I could see myself playing Super Rush for months to come. As it is, it's a solid entry for the series that won't blow you away, but will scratch the series itch. Thank you very much for watching my review. If you found it informative and entertaining, then let me know with a like and a comment down below. As you know, the more engagement with the video, it helps others find the video as well, so I greatly appreciate it. What's your favorite Mario sports game? Mine is probably a tie between Mario Superstar Baseball on GameCube and Mario Strikers Charge on the Wii. Then again, there's Mario Hoops 3-on-3 on the DS, so I guess it's pretty hard to choose. Anyway, until the next video, I'll talk to you in the comments down below or over on my free Discord server in the description.